Hello and welcome to Fragments of Fragments with me, Lewis Kirk. Sorry I haven't posted anything for a good while, but a little while back, a couple of weeks ago, I got hit with a terrible bout of flu, and I was on the ground for a good week, so didn't really have any creative energy to put out. And this episode is coming from my hotel room in Tenerife, so I thought I would share with you, summarize the holiday and a few aspects of it, just a few in particular, the incoming flight and the books that I've been reading. So the flight, why I've called this near death in Tenerife is because on the flight from East Midlands to Tenerife, the winds and the island when we arrived were gusting. I think I heard someone saying 50, 60 miles an hour. And so the pilot tried to come into land, and if you've ever experienced turbulence before, you know there's like a little there's a little drop in the pressure, so the plane falls a bit because of this wind and the drastic changes in pressure. There was significant turbulence, so it felt like you were dropping hundreds of feet. And so he couldn't land the first time, and we got quite near to the ground, and then all of a sudden you heard the engines firing again and roaring, and then we went up, and it was clear to everyone that wow, it's pretty windy. And he tried again and come around again, and he couldn't do it, with the same sort of thing, everything slowing down and come in, but just the plane was getting shaken about like it was nothing. And so it turns out that again he put the engines on again, and we went off, and then it got quiet for a bit and we were flying, and then we came to land. And for those people that were paying attention, it was clear that it wasn't the same airport that we'd tried to land in, and so we'd been diverted to Gran Canaria, and we had to sit on the runway for a couple of hours while the weather improved in Tenerife. And then later on, after a few hours, we refueled and then went back, and it was still quite a bad turbulence, but we was able to land. And so I suppose what I experienced from this, being in that capsule of the aeroplane, with that really bad turbulence, it's almost like an equalizer for everyone. So everyone on that aeroplane was experiencing the same thing, whether you own the aeroplane, whether you were a millionaire, whoever you were, whatever your position in life, you was leveled. It was an equal playing field, and everyone was experiencing probably fear, I would say. That being said, apart from my children, they were they thought it was super fun and exciting, like when you get the butterflies on a fairground ride. That's all they experienced. So they were like laughing and giggling, and Noah's saying, Hannah, oh, does it feel funny in your belly? And they were just laughing away. And so I think their like carefree attitude really helped everyone on the plane, because there was a lot of fear in that aeroplane, but because the Noah and Hannah were really just carefree like children are. They didn't have any association with, the mind will often go to worst case scenario, and the kids, they didn't have that. They didn't have that fear and that mind always dwelling on the worst case. So they were just in the moment, enjoying everything, enjoying the ride, if you like. And so that was that was the beginning of the holiday. diverted to Gran Canaria because we couldn't land, and then just a short sit on the runway before we came back. So that's why I called the video Near Death in Tenerife. It wasn't quite seeing the white light and knocking at death's door, but there was an element of, like, for me anyway, like I was out of control. How can I control that? And it gave me like a window into what you might experience, like in something like that. That being said, I'm here. I've still got to fly back, so hopefully the weather's a bit kinder to us. The next thing I want to talk about is the books that I brought. That are I finished one. I finished this one, Tribe. Hopefully it's not back to front, but anyway, you can see Tribe, Sebastian Junger, which I finished pretty much on the flight out and then the first day, and then the other one is a novel, Jack Kerouac, On the Road. And just the base of both of these books, the first one, Tribe, Sebastian Junger, on homecoming and belonging. He talks initially about the like ancient America, like as the settlers were coming, and forcing the American Indians out of their territory, their land, and that section, he talks about the fact that many Westerners, many settlers would run off and join the Indians, live their way of life, and that the Indians would never go the other way. And so he puts the argument, or he speaks about the fact that you'd think that an American Indian living in a tent and fishing and an ancient way of life, they would be drawn to the Western world and all their material and their luxury and everything that comes with a modern lifestyle. But it wasn't the case. There was never any stories of a American Indian going to join the modern Westerners. It was always the other way around. And he posits that it's because of what you gained from a Native American lifestyle. You had the strong sense of community. You had the egalitarian nature where everyone is equal, and that if one alpha male did try to take all the resources, a group of other males would join a coup and just tell him, like, you're not doing that. We can't let you do it. So it was very appealing to people, and I suppose it still is in a way. You hear of these minimalists now who go off and leave their lives and just go and live in the woods off the land like their ancestors would have. And so there must be some appeal somewhere. And in the other section of the book, he talks about soldiers returning from war, and that he was a journalist and did a lot of work. He's got a good documentary called Restrepo, where he documents soldiers, a unit of soldiers in Afghanistan. But he's talking about when soldiers return and they have post-traumatic stress disorder, that they can't reacclimatize to life. And he says this happens for a number of reasons. One is that is almost like so bleak and bland compared to the high intensity and energy that they had in the war zone, but also the fact that they're like no one was more important than the unit as a whole. So similar, like the Native American life, like the individual was secondary to the group. And in modern society, it's not so. Like the group is nothing, or the community, the collective is nothing, and that the individual is paramount. And you can see this in modern culture. Like if you live in in a house, you know, or even a flat, rarely do we engage in community and with our neighbors, and you know, make an effort to go see them, talk to them, share our stuff with them. And so although you might be a like a well-off, materially and successful individual in the Western world, in a capital city in the West, you can be even more miserable than people in war zones with nothing. And it doesn't make sense, does it? But you can read the book. Obviously, I'm not going to do it any justice in a few minutes, but it's very interesting in the sense that modern civilization has lost all of its substance from what it had before technology and industry and all these things come on. So it's a very interesting book, and makes you think about, like, well, your own life. You know, he's an anthropologist. And the other book, Jack Kerouac, On the Road, I'm 2/3 of the way through. It is a similar sort of thing, but just in a different narrative. He's a young man who's pretty fed up and bored with life in its modern setting, like what Sebastian Young is talking about. And so he enjoys just going out on the road. You know, he's not wealthy, so he's only got like a pocket full of dollars at a time, and he has to hitchhike a lot, and hitchhike and work a few days to get some money to keep going. And it's just the adventure that life can bring, you know, by going out on the road. Just an adventure, I suppose, an adventure. And I mean, obviously it's quite appealing to many of us, this adventure and group community and living close to the land. And where can we get it? You know, in modern society, it's not readily available. You can go camping for the weekend, or you can do an adventurous activity. But if you've got a family and a job and a mortgage, you can, of course you can, just sell it all up and move away and live off the land and all that. But it takes a great spirit to do that, and most of us don't have that, the desire, the draw to do it. So yeah, to summarize this, I suppose, what with everything I've experienced on this trip, starting with the terrible turbulence in the aeroplane, and then reading these two books, it's like we've got to find a way to experience life as fully as we can in our circumstances. And whether that's through sports or through art or through community or through service, or whatever it is for you as an individual, what you like when you think about a fully integrated experience that you long for and love. And then what comes to mind, it's I suppose it's about taking the necessary steps to do that, to try and bring that more into your life. So it's not just the mundane wake up, drop the kids to school, go and work your 9 to 5, pick the kids up, make the dinner, do the bath time and bedtime routine, and then have a couple of hours of Netflix before you go to bed, and then do it all over again. You know, this is I'm not being rude, but this is life for many of us, you know, with families, and it's our job, we need to to take control. We need to take hold of our lives and make it what we want. And so I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully when I get home from holiday, all things being well, I'll be able to just get on with my plan of these vlogs. I've got a lot of ideas and I'll just keep putting them out. And now thankfully I've been doing it a good while, and so I'm not too concerned anymore about how many people are watching it and all shares and this and that. Hopefully I'll just be able to be a bit more less worried about all that now and just put the content out, and if people like it then that'll be good, and if not then it's nice for me to create them. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and yeah, I hope to be posting a lot more regularly in the future. Take care, be good, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.